Good afternoon, fam. That's what you say, isn't it? Fam. I know it. Um, I feel the need to do a video today. My name is Charmaine Torrington. I do psychic mediumship. I felt a need to come on and do a video about loved ones and are they okay? Because one of the biggest questions that I get when I'm doing readings for people and doing mediumship and talking to people that have passed on is from the people here is, are they okay? Is my person, are my people okay that have passed on? And that's a really natural and really emotive and feeling thing to want to know. And of course, we want to know if our people are okay. I've done a lot of videos on ghosts, and I wanted to address this because I feel that it is important because obviously I have done a lot of work with ghosts. If you watch my videos, you'll see if you're interested in that, and a lot of ghost release work. And that's how I was brought to this work largely. Excuse me, I just had a fizzy drink when I got home from work. um, so, our loved ones, after they depart, they do go to to many different places. And I'm not talking about a heaven and a hell. I'm talking about different places to learn different things. They can come back and visit us. Many people question, oh, excuse me, I'm moving again. I'm going to remember not to have a fizzy drink when I go and do a live. This is not good. Many people feel as if they can't call on their ancestors, or their parents or their grandparents or whoever it is that have passed on, because they feel like they might be harassing them. Well, that couldn't be anything further from the truth. So please call on them, because when you do, they come around you. Even when you think of them, say if you're cooking dinner and suddenly you think of your grandmother, and you remember something about them, or they come into your mind, or you hear them sort of say a word or something because you're going about the things that you do at home, and it's often because they are actually there, and they're putting the thoughts in, or you're picking up on their feeling, their vibe, and so that's one way of knowing they're around. But you can also talk to them and ask them a question, and they will come and they will answer it. And you can ask them for a sign, or just ask them for guidance. That's one thing, and just then let it go, because they will talk to their higher, often. I wouldn't say authorities, but they are connected to many different beings, and the message goes through, and either they will guide you, or your guides will hear and guide you, and there's a lot of teams up there. So going back to addressing this issue of, are my loved ones okay? So it is quite a full-on topic, and I am going to be as honest to you as what I can be with the knowledge that I have. And the knowledge that I have is that occasionally, when a person passes through a traumatic event, like my last video, if you're interested, I helped a woman who had a sudden car accident and she didn't know where she was or what was happening. So then a sort of a sucker like me or somebody else will come by, and they will recognize that we can talk to them and communicate with them, and they will follow us, and we assist them. So these people aren't lost forever in some kind of in-between state. They do get assistance to be helped passed over. Um, the other thing that I did is I did a little meditation and a tune in, and I was told that on the other side, time works differently. So, say if you have a ghost in a haunted castle and it's been haunting this castle, say, for the last 150 years, that particular spirit, it may only feel like a drop in a bucket. It's not earthly years because we're living in a different dimension to them. Our time works differently. When I tuned in, they explained that the reason for that is because we are more dense, so we are living closer to a denser object, being the Earth, and density on a whole, time works more slowly. So they said that time works more slowly. So in other dimensions, time works more quickly or in a different way. So therefore, I was told specifically in the realm that a ghost may be in when they haven't properly passed through right to the other side. They It doesn't seem like a really long time. So even if you have a loved one who has passed on, who maybe hasn't got through to the next dimension for one reason or another, it's not a long period of time as we perceive it. So I think it's important to realise that. Now, coming to how to assist a loved one, say if someone's died in a sudden car accident, most of the time things are okay. They sometimes leave their bodies even before they have the accident and they don't even feel the impact. I've read many accounts of that from people who have actually come back. And I've been told that as well. So that can happen. Other things that can happen is if someone is particularly attached to material things, so things of the earth like a house or another person or something like that. If they're really attached to something in life, it doesn't need to, but it can inhibit them from moving forward into the next world because they have those attachments. Yeah, and so then that takes a counsellor who works with ghosts to come and have a wee chat. And I haven't come across I'm just trying to think now, have I come across a spirit that hasn't wanted to pass? I've definitely come across some that have not wanted to pass, definitely. Some don't even know they're dead, so you just explain and then they pass on. Others want to give you a message. They need a message given to their families and friends, and then they pass on okay after that. Others have wanted to complete something in their life that they haven't completed. So when I've chatted to them and explained things, they've understood, just like talking to a human being. You know, if there's a roadblock, well, sometimes you have to say, well, you can't wait here at the roadblock forever because you'll be stuck and then you won't be able to go anywhere, and that's going to not be very fun. It's going to be pretty stink. So you're going to have a lot more fun if you take the next road, and you'll go on a whole lot more adventures, you know. And so I explain it to them like that. Just got the neighbour pulling up. Hello, neighbour. Yes, that's how I approach that. But coming back to you wanting to know whether your loved one is okay. So the best thing that you can do, everyone has different gifts, but you may not realise them or know how to work with them exactly. The best thing that I have found that you can do is to remember that person, honour that person, and ask for healing and guidance for that person through to the next life. So, for example, there's many religions in the world, say, for example, Catholics, they will pray to release their loved ones from purgatory, which for me I liken to that realm that I've been talking about. And so if you don't like the word prayer, I don't have a problem with it, but you can ask higher beings guidance to assist your loved one to be able to move through safe and have safe passage through to the other life. There are many things you can do, but the essential ingredient that is pivotal is sending good energy and love to that human being or to that being that is passed on, because that is what passes them through to the other side. Largely, believe it or not, it's one of the biggest keys. So here in New Zealand, which we also call Aotearoa, which means the land of the long white cloud, local Maori who are here will often sing at a tangi, which is a funeral, and it is known that the singing will help that soul, lift that soul's vibration, because that's what it's about. Love, music, anything really positive will lift that soul's vibration and elate them. The idea is to get that feeling of elation, and that's a vibration, and that soul will ride out on that vibration. Because the reason often why they might be a little bit, I don't like to say stuck, but the reason why they might be remaining where they are is because their vibration is a little bit low, and the frequency needs to, as I'm talking, they're showing me ringing ears. Sometimes if you have ringing ears, it means your guides are trying to communicate. So that frequency is rising, and that soul can ride out on that frequency. And many cultures, Hindu cultures, if there's been an accident or something, they will light a whole lot of candles, they will say prayers. This helps clear the energy, clear the space, and also send off those souls. I could talk about this subject forever. Different remembrance days. We have the Mexican Day of the Dead. Remembering your ancestors, honouring your ancestors, all those things can also actually, with honouring your ancestors and asking them to come back and visit, but it can also actually help those leave, because you're remembering them and sending them good vibes, good love, good vibrations, whatever, in whatever way it is. So dance, music, candles, anything which creates a really good positive atmosphere, that's a really good key. So that would be my advice. It just depends what sort of person you are. You may like to sing. You may like to think of them when you're knitting, and knit a really amazing vibrational scarf, and then that actually might help send off someone to the other side. It's incredible. People don't really know it. Just us being who we are, I'm moving again, can help assist those move to the other side. Isn't that cool? So that would be my advice if you're concerned about, is my loved one okay? Prayer and all of those things that I've talked about, particularly asking higher life forms to come down and assist, because when you really pray, and this is one key with prayer, when you really pray or ask, or however you want to describe it, you have to ask with feeling. The whole key is feeling based. So when you pray, you don't just go blah, 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 blah. That's just words. Because spirit, they hear words, but they hear when you feel things. When you feel, that sends your vibration to the higher realms, and then they hear you. So it has to be a feeling of really open, earnest honesty and a longing for the welfare of whoever you're trying to help. So that, I can't stress that enough. You have to say it with real feeling. And really mean it, then they hear you and then they come. Sometimes it takes a while. I was helping release a woman from a place, and she had babies who she felt she hadn't taken care of. She had a whole lot of grief, and she had to tell me her grief, and she told me it, and I was crying because I feel what they feel. That's okay, I'm still in control, but I'm sharing empathy with them, and that's what they need. And so I explained to her about that, and she just wasn't really ready to leave. And I never believe in force. I don't believe in force, actually. But what I did is I prayed when I knew I asked her to leave and she wouldn't go. She just didn't want to go through the door. So I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and then they took over. So maybe I prayed for about 5-10 minutes, and then boom, the whole energy in the room changed. Boom. And then they came and took over, and then they said they took this woman, and she obviously loved riding bicycles, because they gave her a bicycle and they says, "This way, madame, this way," and she hopped on the bicycle and rode off, and they took her through to the other side. So it was that point that the higher beings actually came and took over, because I asked. I'm like, "Hey, I need help. Please, can you come and help this lady? She really needs to move on. And she's, she has grief. And when you move to the other side, you do go through healing. And then you can see your loved ones." She was concerned about her son, and so then she would be able to see her son. So it really is the best place for them to be. So I hope that's helped you today. I hope you're having a really good day, and I will tune in with you soon. All right, take care, people. Feel free to ask questions as well. And just to reiterate, I do one-on-one readings, primarily over Zoom or Skype or Facebook, anything you like that, or email even. Follow, you're probably on my Facebook page, Charmaine Torrington Psychic Medium. If you look at services, it will show you what I offer. Just private message me and we can book in a reading. I do psychic readings as well, so I can assist you with what's happening in your life, and we can come together and help nut out really important things, come up with good answering your questions. But again, I also do the mediumship, which is bringing through people from the other side that have passed on who want to give you messages as well. So that is what I offer as one of my life's works. And goodness knows what else is going to be part of my life's work, because I've got a feeling that there's other stuff coming along. Just got a vibe. So yeah, it is exciting. So contact me if you feel you want to, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye bye now.